Friendo, Steve here.
Well, Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Hot takes. That's right. We're going to take a look at your hot takes from the world of professional wrestling, and we're going to react to them. We're going to be like talking like, ooh, wrestling. Yeah, that's all you're going to do. You're going to pantomime screaming.
just reacting in the most over-the-top fashion possible.
Right. Let's test this out here. Number one.
All right.
Paul Evans 6076 says Elimination Chamber has become a roadblock in building towards Mania. There you go. I wish the audio crowd could see this right now because Larson's putting on a clinic when it comes to facial reactions. He continues on with this. He says, Chamber used to feel like the last stop on the road to Mania, but it's now becoming a hindrance, with the Chamber matches always being number one contender matches, meaning the Mania build never really begins until after EC is done and dusted. January to April now feels too formulaic and structured. The Mania build would feel more organic if EC was moved to a completely different time of the year. And then Chinese Finger Trapezoid builds on this and says Chamber needs to go back to being title matches instead of number one contenders. Larson, is Elimination Chamber ruining the road to WrestleMania?
I kind of feel like it is.
Okay. All right.
I kind of do. I like the idea, especially the second one here, that about the Chamber matches should go back to being a title match rather than a number one contendership for the other title that Rumble winner doesn't pick.
Yeah.
Because it says here there's a much better story to tell of Drew having to defend the title inside the Chamber than what's being planned currently. Mm-hmm. Imagine if Drew had to defend the title against Cody, Jacob Fatu, Sami Zayn, you know,
all the people
Chamber
that he's been running away from.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's
Doesn't
forced
that
in
make
the
a
Chamber.
ton of sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, ever since they really put so much emphasis on the Chamber being number one contender for the other title at Mania, I don't know, it kind of lessens the importance, the prestige, the honor of winning the Rumble a little bit.
There's no kinda. The Rumble is now arguably the 1B to Chamber's 1A.
I know. Look at the build for Rumble this year, such as it was. Wasn't much. Mm-hmm. It feels like they're putting a lot more energy into elevating Chamber as a road to Mania as opposed to the Rumble. And, you know, I don't know. I get if this is something they want to do in perpetuity, have the Rumble Chamber than Mania, and have the Chamber be that other option for someone to get that title opportunity at Mania, then yeah, I guess you got to kind of elevate it, maybe somewhat at the expense of the Rumble, so they're seen on par, but at the same time, it's the Royal Goddamn Rumble, you know? That's the one with the legacy, the lineage, the one that historically has been the clearest pathway to get the title opportunity at WrestleMania. And I feel like with so much emphasis on Chamber between then and Mania, just the Rumble loses some luster because of it. And I like the idea of, all right, you lose the Rumble, or you don't win the Rumble. All right, you want to walk into WrestleMania as champ? This is your last chance here at the Chamber. And if you fail here, guess what? You got to find another path to get on the Mania card. And how do they go about finding another number one contender for the other championship? Be creative. I don't know what to tell you. But it does feel formulaic. All right, so who wins the Rumble? All right, this person's win the Chamber. These are your Mania matches. It feels like there'd be some more twists and turns if the Chamber wasn't the 1B to the Rumble's 1A or vice versa.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I think it's one of this is from like a larger standpoint, I guess, or a macro big picture sense, where you have 4 world championships, 2 for the men, 2 for the women. And, you know, they have, depending on who's holding it and the stories they're telling, they have varying degrees of importance. Now you see CM Punk, kind of their number one guy, holding the World Heavyweight Championship. They've like openly said that, oh, the Raw Netflix show, that's the real show. That's the one that everybody should be paying attention to.
That's what Roman said. He said it's the best show.
Yeah. And so, yeah, dude, it's sort of like that, you know, that meme that's like way overused these days with that dude walking down the street with his girl and he's got his head turned. Mm-hmm. Well, the girl that's walking away from him that he's looking at is now the Chamber. You know what I mean? Like that's that's where you had the big moment last year. Whereas at the Rumble, you had Jey Uso winning for a mid-card world title match at WrestleMania. And then this year you've got Cody winning the Chamber, which is going to be, well, that's going to be on the Saturday. I get that. Roman won the big match, but there is no build to that. And now there's no build even to Roman versus Punk until we've gotten past the Chamber as well. So, yeah, I agree. I think that I don't think the Chamber should be used for anything specifically other than to tell a good story. I don't think it needs to exclude the idea of a number one contender match, but I think it definitely does. I don't think it needs to be so solid that is definitely like, well, didn't win the Rumble, I get another chance. I don't think it needs to be that either, and I think that's kind of a lazy approach to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with this one. I don't think it's ruining the road to Mania. I think you can still write good stories. I think it's an unnecessary, as the actual hot take is, it's become a roadblock in building towards Mania. It's just sort of a thing that's there that they have to do in that very specific way, and I wish they would lighten up on that.
And another thing this year where you have Roman winning the Rumble, he chooses Punk the Raw after. Well, Punk has a title defense he has to get through at Chamber, so you really can't focus on Punk Roman entirely until that.
Until after Chamber, yeah.
Until after Chamber, after Punk has that title defense against Finn.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Roman's not showing up, so I guess it makes sense. They got to have Punk do something.
Yeah,
but,
right, yeah.
There's several weeks there that you're missing out on potentially enhancing the story that's being told by kind of looking past it until after Chamber.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with any of that. And I think that sort of also dovetails into no matter how good a woman's story is, they're not going to main event. It's like you can tell the best Io versus Rhea story. We know that the men are going to main event both nights. And I feel like the women are doing such a good job right now. And granted, they got their top two acts as the tag team, but like even the tag division is kind of hot right now. It just speaks to like how good the women are right now.
Yep.
And it's like they're the one of the main attractions, and yet they're never really treated like the main attraction.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's kind of lame.
Ideally, there's 2 nights of WrestleMania. There's 2 Rumbles, 2 guaranteed title opportunities on the line between, the Rumble, that's it.
Yeah.
Chamber's not a thing. You win a Rumble, you main event one night of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that's locked in, And it's the onus is then on creative to come up with the story that elevates that feud into a main event program if it's not there already.
Well, that's what they should be doing in the first place, year round, building to this moment.
Exactly. Yeah. And this feels like far too often, we'll just motivate the match and rely on the strength of our characters to get it over, as opposed to having the twists and turns, a little bit of unpredictability, some character evolution, leading to the main event match. It just doesn't happen often enough.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Next hot take here from Antidote. Says Roman Reigns is right about W Creative. # Tribal Truth. You want to put your one up, Steve, for Roman?
No, I've done that enough. I feel like you dipped out of that, so I'm going to dip out of it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done with that.
I can't just, I can't.
Anyways, I'm sure this is referring to Roman's comments on, this is on Pat McAfee, wasn't it? Yes.
So this is what he said. I got that quote right here. Right. He says, "The way I look at it is I'm a generous tribal chief. I give the people plenty of time. These young talents, get over, kids, get over. You know what I mean? And we're 2 years here now, and we haven't advanced. We haven't evolved. You know what I mean?" He says, I think Roman Reigns, oh, no, I'm sorry. That's later on. So that's basically what he said.
He has more. He says, we have great leadership in Nick Khan. God bless him. What a businessman. He's a genius, but we have to be able to keep up with that creatively. So he's crediting Nick Khan. Says creatively, we have to keep up with the business side of things.
He's saying Triple H is not keeping up.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Yes.
I was getting to that. So he's saying Triple H isn't keeping up creatively with, the business successes of WWE. Anecdotally, there's a lot of people in these threads for these hot takes. To paraphrase, WWE down bad,
Yeah, dude, here's the thing. I personally, and this is the same thing I was saying last year even. I don't think they're down bad. I think you have to be really damn good to keep up. I think you have to be almost great to have any consideration for people to tune into your stuff and to grow your audience, because there's just too much damn competition for my eyeballs. You know, there's this big discussion these days about, for example, Netflix, and how they have a mandate now whenever there is a Netflix Studios film that they need to combat or understand that people are sitting there. I don't know where my phone is. Oh, it's in my pocket. Wow, that's crazy. People are sitting there on their phones with their going in raw phone case, which you can get right now at friendoshop.com. Use Friendo 2026 promo code. People are sitting here doing this. And so in the script writing process, you have to reiterate what's going on. You need exposition. You have to tell people what just happened and what's going to happen next, because they just know that people are on their phones. Well, if you craft a story that is right, true, and dramatic, Larson, they're going to sit there and they're going to just sit in the story. You're not going to need to do that.
Yeah.
And for WWE, you need to do something compelling on a consistent basis for you to keep up, because being good just ain't good enough anymore.
Well, I mean, at times, I don't even know if you consider what WWE is being good. It's being competent. You know, you're doing kind of the bare minimum in terms of advancing these feuds, having a modicum of story involved with some of these feuds, doing maybe a little bit of character evolution along the way. But again, you're not getting the story beats that leave you wanting to tune in for the next episode.
Yeah.
That just doesn't happen very often anymore.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was the hallmark, or one of the hallmarks of the Bloodline stuff. Whatever the last segment they had on the show, you're like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? You wanted to tune in to find out. You looked forward to it. And yes, we got spoiled with the overall quality of the Bloodline stuff, but at the same time, they got a large creative staff, you know, and we've seen them generate some good ideas post Bloodline. You know, I'm not saying the Bloodline should be the norm, because that's one of the greatest pro wrestling stories ever told, if not the greatest.
But here's the thing.
Something more than just, all right, two people bump into each other and fight. You know,
I think Bloodline level storytelling, this might be a hot take, I think that could be the norm.
I think it could too.
I think if you put some damn effort into it and you let some younger minds into the room, then you can have Bloodline level stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that complicated.
I don't think so either. I'm just saying my expectations are not that high at this point.
Yeah.
You know, yes, every week it's competent wrestling television. At times it's good. Rarely is it great.
Yeah.
And I think the potential is obviously there with the talent they have available for it to be consistently great.
Yeah, dude, we're in a new era, and I think that's one thing that Roman Reigns, maybe he's referring to this or not, I don't know, but we are in a new era of quality at our fingertips. You know, when you look at the lineup of the best shows on Apple, on Prime, on Netflix, there is such a wide variety of incredible entertainment options out there that we did not have 20 years ago, or even really 10 years ago. We didn't have that. And on top of that, we've got TikTok, Instagram Reels, we've got YouTube. There is so much stuff competing for eyeballs. If you really want to stand out, yes, you have to keep up. And WWE is unless they really change things or find that constant inspiration or find the algorithm that matters, you know, it's always like, oh, SmackDown was really good this week, but Raw was kind of like, meh, or the vice versa. Then yeah, I mean, you know, they're gonna have to keep on doing some of those quarter off WrestleMania ticket sales, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they got to bring back some of those retro nights for Raw. Pop a number.
Yes, do that, please. Do that. Anyways, man, we got some sponsors for this show this week, so let's go ahead and talk about them.
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Hims. All right, Steve. I'll admit, maybe I've been a little rough on you of late, especially when it comes to saying that you're lacking confidence and that your hair is getting thin under that hat you have on there. I may have gone too far. I'm sorry.
Well, dude, I got to be honest. I don't really think that you're sincere because much like Charlie Brown and that pesky football, for anybody over 60 who remembers that, you have fooled me too many times.
I understand that I have to earn back your trust, and all I can do at this juncture is apologize earnestly, sincerely. I'm sorry.
I'm doing this very reluctantly because you have a smile on your face. I'll give you one more chance.
Thank you, Steve. While we're talking about second chances, your thinning hair deserves a second chance, and with Hims, you get convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with doctor-trusted ingredients that work to stop further hair loss and regrow your hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. And get this, you don't even have to leave your home to do it. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans for real health concerns all in one place so that you, Steve here, can get your hair back, get your confidence back. So, for simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/goinginraw. That's hims.com/goinginraw for your free online visit. hims.com/goinginraw.
Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride.
And this episode is sponsored by Factor. During these cold days of winter, I like to make myself some hot, healthy meals, but far too often, I find that I don't have the time to cook the type of meals that I really want to make. It's frustrating.
Yeah, no, man, I feel you on that one. I think we've all found ourselves in that situation before. But when my schedule is packed and I need a quality meal, I turn to Factor. Factor makes healthy eating easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs. We're talking meals made with quality, functional ingredients, including lean proteins, veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats that are always fresh, never frozen, and are ready to eat in about 2 minutes.
Factor's got 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh and delicious through this cold winter. So cold out today. Like honey mustard chicken and truffle butter filet mignon. And Factor offers a variety of meal options such as high protein, Calorie Smart, Mediterranean diet, GLP-1 support, and ready-to-eat salads, plus their new Muscle Pro collection supports strength and recovery, perfect for Larson now that I'm trying to get absolutely jacked in the year 2026.
Head to factormeals.com/raw50off and use code RAW50OFF to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. One free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active.
And this episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Mars Men. So it's the beginning of the year. Decided to take inventory of myself and my health because, as I've gotten older, noticed that a lot of the time I feel just generally kind of sluggish,
Yeah, man. I get it, man. Low energy Larson is back. I hear you. One day you feel like you're crushing it. The next day, everything feels twice as hard. Here's the thing. Most men start losing testosterone around age 30. About 1% every year after that. What's more, there's a protein called SHGB that basically locks up your testosterone so you can't use what you got. And Mars Men is designed to help free lock testosterone so your body can actually use it. Mars Men supports healthy T levels, energy, and stamina with 8 natural, clinically dosed ingredients. It's made in the USA and third-party tested, and if you don't absolutely love it, you can get your money back with Mars Men's 90-day money-back guarantee.
For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. Again, that's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support Going in Raw and tell them we sent you.
All right, man, let's continue on with these hot takes here. Next up from Pepsi Pipe Bomb Night, who says, pro wrestling was never consistently good. It just had its moments.
I mean, pro wrestling is very much a narrative form that's based so much on huge moments.
Yeah.
And maybe not as much as what's in between those moments. And not to say other television programs, for example, don't have huge moments. Obviously, they do. But I feel like there's generally enough in between those huge moments that keep you engaged and logically extend to those moments.
It kind of keeps you. They'll. It's like an addiction, right? It's like they give you that big hit, and then you're fiending for more, thinking every week, oh, we're gonna get another, big
or at
thing,
least once a month,
right? And at this point, with like the social media aspect of things, they also get a little bit of that FOMO, the fear of missing out, like, oh man, what's going on right now? Ooh, something big could happen, because like sometimes something big does happen, something cool does happen. I wonder, like, you could actually break down it, like when you go sort of big picture with this hot take. I agree with it as well. There has never been a stretch of more than 2 years, maybe 3 years, when it's been like, oh wow, this is really good. Like, think about the drop off, but like WWE in 2015 to 2016 or so, it was like, hey, this is pretty good. Yeah, and then 2017 drops off huge until 2019. And then you have pandemic, which is like, it's crap, but it's like, you kind of understand, like, they're kind of hampered right there. Like, Drew winning the Rumble, which, that could make some cool shit.
That was great, but then pandemic happened and the Mania had to be in an empty warehouse. Yeah.
Right. So like that threw a lot of stuff off. But going before then, like the Attitude Era, like WWE was good from, I guess you could probably say 97 to 2000, like 97, 98, 99 was really good. 2000, Austin was gone. Didn't really, and then like 2002, 2003, things get good again. It's always very start and stop.
It is.
It's like there's a burst of good shit and then it's like goes down. And then there's a burst of good shit and then goes down.
And, going back to like the Bloodline era, that carried so much of WWE programming. And beyond that, there was some interesting stuff here and there, but it wasn't like it was all consistently intriguing and highly watchable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the eras you mentioned, I think the same holds true, where so much of the programming is carried by one or two stories to keep people invested in what's going on. And the other stories, some might be all right. Some might be actually kind of approaching pretty good. Others, dog shit, So even in the eras where it's kind of approaching consistently good, it always felt, not always, but largely felt kind of top heavy in terms of what's carrying the show in terms of the creative quality. Like, can you think of a moment or a period of time in wrestling where top to bottom, maybe it wasn't the most intriguing stuff, but top to bottom, it was all really good?
1997 WCW. I don't know. I mean, I often look at that and I'm like, man, they were cooking back in 97. WCW was, you had the luchadors, you had the mid card with like, I think Raven came a little, I don't know, was Raven in 97 or 98?
Either 97, 98, I don't recall.
Yeah. And so you have, I think that's a really good. You got WWF probably in 99. You could probably look at a lot of the stuff there. Like the tag division was hot. The mid card titles were hot. Main event was hot. You could probably look at that. But what's wild is like when you look at WCW from like 97 to 98 or even 96 to 98, it was like, God damn, they're cooking. 99, January 4th, the finger poke of doom, and it all turns to shit. Mm-hmm. And it's all awful at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll contradict myself here. I think it's entirely possible that it's not easy to consistently do really good stuff. But my point about WWE right now is you would think they would have the resources to be able, from any time in history, to give a good go at it. And it's still sort of the same as it's always been,
Yep.
So I don't know. I guess that's what happens, right? When you have the same people, like what's Pritchard still doing there? What's Road Dogg still doing there?
Still doing there? I know. Get some new voices in there.
And you look at like even on Unreal, which debatably you could consider, oh, well, they sort of manufacture, or at least they take what they have and they mold a narrative out of it.
They edit it to create
right. It's documented. Every documentary does that.
Yeah.
But still, you look at those little glimpses into the writing room and you see like the younger people, and you could just sort of tell like the body language is like, well, I'm not going to get this past Pritchard. Not going to get this past Road Dogg. You know, and they're probably brimming with ideas. You know, and it's like, you know, hey, let Rob Fee take over, you know, let him go, give him 3 months, see what he can do.
Yeah. You know, you got Road Dogg and Pritchard, I'm sure, who are very much rooted in an old school approach to how wrestling stories should be told. And if you have some people coming in the creative department, whether they have experience in the world of wrestling or not, and are looking to expand the possibilities of wrestling storytelling, and they're hitting that bottleneck of Pritchard and or Road Dogg to get their ideas through just because it's not what you conventionally see in the world of pro wrestling, that's a serious bummer.
Yeah.
Because the one of many things that made the Bloodlines saga so great is that it was such a huge tapestry. You got to explore the interpersonal dynamics of the characters.
Shirt available right
on
now.
a weekly basis. And it gave us those edge of your seat moments, maybe not weekly, at least once a month you got one. When Sammy was involved, it was damn near weekly.
Yeah.
You know, they had a way of constructing situations that continually escalated the tension between all the members. And, you know, when it all kind of blew up at the Rumble, when Sammy hit Roman with the chair, it felt logical. It felt earned. And that kind of stuff is just missing. And if you need other people in the room, in the creative writing room, to pitch ideas like that, and hopefully be able to do it without having to bang their head against the wall that is Pritchard and Road Dogg, then you gotta listen. Listen. I mean, if anything, the Bloodline showed us that you can tell wrestling stories that are more than, I don't like this person, I want to fight you. Because that's what so much of wrestling storytelling comes down to.
Yeah.
Oh, you have that title, I want the title, so we're going to fight.
Yeah.
You know, you have a character like Roman Reigns whose motivation is so rooted in his insecurities. Just don't see that very often. And it's interesting. I'm not saying a carbon copy of what we saw in the Bloodline, but give us characters with more dimension than, you know, tough person who wants to fight.
When I mentioned this not that long ago, I forget if it was on camera or off. I mentioned it on WrestleJuice the other day because somebody asked. It's wild to me that nobody's really done. Maybe it's funny because maybe when you look back on it, the Mega Powers thing, centering kind of around Macho Man's insecurities about Elizabeth, might be the only decent like breakup story that's ever happened, or relationship based story that ever happened. Like being in a relationship and it going south, and then you still having to work with the other person. Oh my God, you would think that'd be like rife with like actual drama that you can mine in a real way. And like they've never really done that before.
No.
I mean, every time they do it, it's like soap opera bullshit where it's like, oh, the Jezebel gets one over on the hapless idiot, and then he gets his comeuppance and maybe pile drives her. I don't know. But like, what you wouldn't do today, but I'm sure that shit happened in ECW all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's that or it's just played for
How
laughs.
many times you see Francine's cheeks getting...
Oh, I know. Get
bounced up
because
because
of the pile
of...
driver by somebody, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. It's
so stupid.
It is. It's either that or it's just played strictly for laughs. That's
yes. It. Yeah, exactly. That's what McMahon would do in the later years. Yeah.
Or attempted laughs.
But there are
really
so many
funny.
Like wrestling as a mirror to real life in terms of like, you know, telling some stories via art is such a there's so much untapped potential when you really think about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Bloodline. Yeah, it was because there was so much. There was the family stuff. There was Sammy's insecurity. There was everybody was insecure over a variety of different things. And it's like, yes, that's sort of like where you should be heading with this stuff. And I watched again today the Stephanie Vaquer, Liv Morgan stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like that scene. It was so good. It's like, oh, whoever came up with that. And Liv's response to it was everything. And Dom's like, it was a perfect triangle of just drama. And Michael Cole sitting there awkward.
Yeah.
It was, and it's like, dude, you need more of that.
Yeah.
You know, like think outside the box. Think how people are broken down when they've got this this ego built on insecurity like Liv Morgan does, and how can you break that down into what we had last night or Monday night on Raw, I should say. So yeah, you need whoever did that, do that more.
Yeah, more of that, please.
Watch, that was Pritchard.
Oh gosh.
Anyways, next up, Mark May says there's no such thing as tribalism in wrestling. It's made up for clicks and news stories.
Well, who's making it up?
Who's making this up?
Is there a grand conspiracy somewhere to divide wrestling fans?
Release the IWC files.
Like I just don't know. Like I understand the idea that maybe tribalism that does exist in wrestling, much like any other avenues of life, is often exploited to get clicks and generate this clickbait stuff, And
yeah,
you obviously see that on Twitter. A lot of people posting outrageous stuff, crazy wrestling takes just to get engagement.
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
that's obviously part of it. But I to say that there's no such thing as tribalism in wrestling, I don't think that's accurate either.
There is tribalism these days, and it's thanks to social media. It's directly because of social media.
Oh yeah, everybody's found their echo chamber to validate their opinions about wrestling, and they can find a community that agrees with them more often than not of those things, and they stick together.
And it's and number one, as we've seen this unfortunately in real life. It's often not just exacerbated, but the origin point of this can be through disingenuous actors. I mean, there were like protests organized by, like, whatever, you were telling me about.
You're talking about the Russian bot things.
Yeah,
where they had their bots set up protests.
They would
diametrically oppose protests on opposite sides of the street to ensure that some sort of clash would happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And people buy into this, even though it's the origin of it is Russian election interference, it's the KGB is doing this. Like, it's proven. Like, there's reports about it. There's like, this is real shit.
Yeah.
And that happens here in the States too. It's and I hate to sound like a fucking tinfoil hat guy, but this shit is really easy to do when you see how quickly people find validation in whatever, like social media feeds the ugliest of us. It really does. It breeds, it brings out the ugliest in us, and it's across niches, and it's across genres, and it's across fandoms. It's everything from politics to religion to Star Trek to Star Wars to Harry Potter to sports, NBA, NFL, everything. It's everything. So tribalism 1,000% exists, and it's not just in wrestling. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Next hot take here from Uncharted Media says the internet hate for Sami Zayn is overblown and he deserves a WWE title run.
Well, does he deserve it or has he earned it?
Well, I think maybe the idea is that the feeling within the fan base, at least Sami Zayn fans, is that he deserves it. Now he has to go about earning it.
Actually, a couple of, because I was thinking about the CM Punk thing, and I really quick, I asked the Google, I said, what's the synonym for deserves? And it said earned. anyways, I get I like giving Phil some guff here. So the internet hate for Sami Zayn is overblown. I feel like, and again, this is like maybe by virtue of the fact that I'm not on. I mean, I'm on Threads quite a bit. Threads, I've sort of replaced Twitter with Threads. Like, I'll go there a couple times a day. It's on my phone.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of it. I've seen more people talking about the internet hate for Sami Zayn than I've actually seen internet hate for Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn is a wonderful pro wrestling character.
Yeah.
I think there have been times when that character has been presented in a certain way where I'm like, man, this guy needs a good ass kicking, because he's sort of like too on his high horse a little bit, and He wins a lot, but he acts like he's an underdog. And those are just characteristics that I think, again, you could totally mine for something interesting.
Yeah.
But I feel like they really haven't, because they like to go very sort of babyface or heel.
Yeah.
So I still think he's probably in the top 4 of their in-ring performers, if not maybe even top 2. Does he deserve a WWE title? I'll put it this way. I think that there is an awesome story waiting to be told with Sami Zayn winning a WWE championship.
I think so too.
The world title or the WWE championship. I think
so
that
too.
that story can be told, and it wouldn't shock me if they did tell it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I would too. We saw in NXT when he won the title there that it could be done with him to great effect. When he finally won that moment, it felt cathartic. It felt huge.
Yeah.
And, if that happens when he's on the main roster, and if they do the story right, you can get the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It could feel really huge.
It's
just all about how they approach
stadium. Yeah.
Yeah. It all depends on how they approach the story and how well they execute it. That's it. Next hot take here from Kamo Mustafa says Liv and Stephanie should main event night 1. Says, I'm a Cody fan, but Roman and Cena were the reason why he main evented as many Manias as he did, and I don't think the triple threat story carries enough weight to main event. Despite Liv's reaction to Stephanie, I still think they are worthy of the main event. Oh, if anything, Liv's reaction to what Stephanie said elevates that story.
It does, yeah.
Quite a bit. Because the one thing I felt was kind of lacking is, why is this story personal?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, it's very personal.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently with part of what she said to Liv was, are you going to cry about it? Which is something that Liv has thrown at people before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is why they then did that. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, I think that this is a storyline that they could definitely, especially with that segment we saw on Monday, they could take to the next level in terms of the presentation of it and in terms of making it that night 1 big deal. I think probably more so than whoever's going to come out of the chamber against Jade, unless it was Bianca. Now, you said the other day, and I sort of glossed over it, but so Bianca, she's supposed to be getting surgery, so she
had surgery. She already had it.
Just in the past,
just recently, yeah. I think within the last few days, if not just, I think it was yesterday actually, because she posted something on Instagram saying day 1 of rehab.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I'm guessing, we'd speculated for a while that they were kind of spinning the wheels on what to do on SmackDown with the title scene there, waiting to see if Bianca was going to be cleared for Mania. Now, with surgery on her finger, I would assume at that point they would have a much clearer idea, yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
She can be available or not.
Yeah.
I'm guessing no, seeing as we're 2 months away from Mania. That's 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Surgery and rehab for, I'd assume they had to go and basically reconstruct her knuckle. That'd be my guess, though I don't know. But something that must have been pretty invasive enough that at this point I'm guessing that she's out of the picture for Mania.
Yeah. Because I was going to say, if they had time to build that story, then I think Bianca and Jade could be an option. I think one thing about Stephanie is that they just haven't done a terribly great job of giving her much to work with until this moment.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the first hot take, man, I think, you win the Rumble, you get it. You get a main event.
I think so.
That should be it. Vince's treatment of Brock did such a disservice to that period of time when Royal Rumble winners like Shinsuke Nakamura landed in the main event, in the mid-card of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that really poisoned the well of the Royal Rumble.
It did.
For a long time.
It did. And if one thing they could potentially do with Liv and Stephanie is try to bring in the larger tensions amongst members of Judgment Day as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want to kind of expand the scope and give us the type of tapestry that we saw with the bloodline stuff. Mm-hmm. How is what Liv is doing with Stephanie informing her relationships with all the other members of the Judgment Day? You got Finn with his own ambitions. You got Dom just trying to hold on to his titles. JD's just trying to help his friend get that championship. Obviously, Raquel has her own ambitions. These are things you could really explore, and this could be a really good lens by which you could do it.
I think if you want a story that has been building for a long time, I think you could easily go to Rhea versus Io. easily as a main event as well. You know. But again, you know, even though Triple H on Unreal is like, man, these women are so much further advanced than the men, you know, but they're just not gonna do that. It's a bummer. Let's see here. Jake Jones says, despite all the hoopla around ticket sales and the so far mid build and creative and overall fan morale, I think at the end of the day, once it's happened, WrestleMania 42 is going to be remembered as one of the best, similar to Mania 31. I mean, dude, if the matches are all fire,
if it's a situation where, if they can handle WrestleMania like Triple H used to handle takeovers, or sometimes the build was kind of whatever. You're just motivating matches, but the match is all delivered. You know, if we're getting a card 2 nights of 4-star plus matches,
where there's a lot of storytelling in the matches,
then the possibility there, of course, for it to be great. You know, but if it's not that, we're not getting the benefit of intriguing stories going into the show. Some matches good, some matches not, then it's going to be kind of a middle of the road Mania.
It's got a tougher hill to climb, doesn't it? If they don't do their job heading into WrestleMania. I mean, you know, things will kick off at the Chamber. You know, if Chris Jericho emerges from the crate, hey, you know, if we do it at the Georgia AJ Styles Appreciation Night, if AJ does what you would suggest that he might do, if he comes back and he's like, hey, you know, if he's actually re-signed with WWE, you know, and he says one more chance, and maybe, you know, we've been missing that about Gunther. People are like, what's Gunther going to do at Mania? Maybe you do AJ again, and he gets his career back. Maybe that was the plan all along. Well, I don't know about the plan all along because the report was they hadn't signed him. But maybe they have. Maybe they've come to terms, and they'll do that, and that'll be like a huge moment.
Yeah. And
if they really nail everything, but they do make it more difficult without the stories in advance.
They do. Hot take here from Peter Kefalos says, Oba, Trick, and Jacob Fatu all give more main event guy energy than Braun Breaker does.
Yeah, I agree with this.
1,000% agree with this one.
I agree with this. I think Braun's got the ingredients. I think the other dudes have already put it together. Trick, especially. Trick. It's crazy. You know, I was critical of them waiting that extra year on Trick. My God. That dude, and imagine, and I think this is going to happen, when Trick gets in there with, what did he say about Sami Zayn?
Oh, his breath smells like 10 pounds. Bounce that ass.
If and when Trick gets into, you know, I always love when people would get into programs with either Bailey or Sasha, because they always end up being way better wrestlers afterwards. You get into a program with Sami Zayn, you're going to be a 10x better wrestler afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
You put him in there with Sammy, with the Randy Ortons, even with like the Miz, you know, you put him in with those fundamentally just really good wrestlers. He's going to, when Trick Williams turns into a 4-star match machine, I think he's got the potential for that. Oh my God. The promo, the look, and the matches all combined. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. He's on the trajectory, if he's not nearly there at this juncture, of, technically he's a heel. People can't wait to cheer for him.
In 10 years.
Not wait.
Dude, in 10 years, he's going to be Cena plus. I honestly think that's his ceiling. And you look at how at how Oba, like what they've done so far with Oba Femi, and how Oba knows how to carry the ball. Dude, come on, get out of here with that. And Jacob Fatu, I mean, come on, that guy's great. He just needs to stay healthy and give him some good stories. But in terms of being like a real danger, oh my God, his promos are scary as hell.
They are.
You know?
He's gotten to the point where he relies a little too much on the catchphrases, but
since he's come back, that's been dialed back a bit.
His one on SmackDown, he literally said all of them.
He had a promo on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Like an in-ring promo?
No, backstage.
Oh, I must have missed that then.
He just spoke to the camera, but he got them all in.
What? How long was it?
Oh, a couple minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like, okay, so for example, the stuff with him and Cody and that sit-down,
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. If they do more of that,
yeah,
where he doesn't, I'm going to interrupt your blood. You know what I mean? Oh, gas, no brakes. It's like,
Yeah.
what? You're not even saying, you're just saying your catchphrases.
Yeah. Hot take here from that Dan Bradley. Says people need to be okay with the idea that maybe WWE is not for everyone.
Okay. I don't know what that means, that damn Bradley.
People need to be okay with the idea that maybe WWE is not for everyone. Is it the idea that maybe people don't watch WWE and then there's discourse out there like, oh, if you don't like WWE, you don't like wrestling or something? I don't know.
Yeah. I
That's how
guess
I'm kind of
so.
taking this.
Let's move on to the next one and kind of wrap it into this.
It does. They're somewhat related. Yeah.
Prickly Peen says AEW isn't mainstream, never will be. It's a niche product with a ceiling they have already reached, and there's no growth beyond that.
I'll go beyond AEW isn't mainstream. Pro wrestling isn't mainstream. Pro wrestling is a niche form of storytelling. And I think at this point where there's so many entertainment options, not just on TV, not just in movie theaters, but on your phone through, all the social media stuff. We've talked about how there's not like one zeitgeist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is nothing.
And I think
truly
while
mainstream.
pro wrestling has garnered more mainstream acceptance, there's not quite the same stigma there used to be about wrestling being fake.
I don't know, man. Fucking Tom Brady straight up told Logan Paul, "You do fake fighting." there is still that reliance.
I mean, that's still general. I think there's still generally that's thrown out there as an insult, but
Yeah.
I think by and large, compared to 30 years ago,
Well,
the
yeah.
stigma is not what it
I
used
agree
to be
with that.
as it relates to pro wrestling.
I'd
But
say
I think
40 years ago. 30 years ago. Well, 28 years ago. What? Fuck. When was 1997? Jesus Christ.
29 years ago.
Oh, my God. Yeah, 30 years ago. That's when I think people started, because Vince straight up said, good guys, bad guys.
Yeah. And,
Get it?
that's when pro wrestling probably approached the mainstream, cover of TV Guide and all that stuff. But I just think today the entertainment landscape is so fractured.
Well, what your assertion, and I think this is, an accurate one because there's no one culture. There is no zeitgeist anymore. Everything is a niche form of entertainment. There could be like, if I looked at Billboard's top 10 right now, I would have no fucking clue. Probably, unless there's like another 5 Morgan Wallen songs. I know who that guy is. Taylor Swift might be in there. I don't know. I'm sure there's maybe some Bad Bunny songs. I know who he is clearly.
Yeah.
Are you looking up right now? Who's in the
I'm
top
looking up
10?
right now. I've never heard of this song.
Who
Number
is it?
one is a song called Choose in Texas by Ella Langley. Never heard of it. See, but I listen to
Choose in Texas.
I listen to the radio. I don't know if it's a country song, but I listen to the radio because I kind of want to keep my ear, out there to what's going on. So most of these other songs I have heard.
Okay.
At least in the top 10. Like
Well,
I've heard
what are they?
Olivia Dean's Man I Need. That's actually a really catchy song.
Okay.
Ordinary by Alex Warren. That's on the radio all the time. Bruno Mars, I Just Might. You know who Bruno Mars is.
I know who that is, yeah.
Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Well, I know what K-pop is.
You know that is. The Great Divide by Noah, is it Kahan or Khan? Taylor Swift is 7 with The Fate of Ophelia.
Okay, I know who that is.
Somber, have you heard of Somber?
By who?
No, that's the artist.
No,
Kalani, a song called Folded. It's on the radio all the time, and then Bad Bunny's at 10.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and that's, I know, I get it. I'm fucking old and everything, but you know who most of those people are. But I guess my point is, I feel like at my age, if this was like 1996, I would know probably 9 out of 10. I would have heard probably a lot, 9 out of the 10 on the Billboard top 10.
Yeah.
So everything is niche these days. It's sort of your assertion. I think you can have 5 million people watching a YouTube clip and be niche.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Within the, I mean, AEW, I will say this. I think growth is possible for AEW.
Without a doubt.
I feel like they haven't done a lot to try to grow their product recently in a major way, because I think they're kind of limited due to. So I'll give you an example. I firmly believe that if AEW somehow, some way were to be able to sign AJ Styles, you would see growth in their product. You would see an increase in the ratings. People's eyeballs would go over there, and some of those people would stick around. That's growth. That's growing your product. I don't know, barring them trying to, and I know I'll get, barring them trying to WWE up their product a little bit, I don't know that, I think that they have discovered that what they have is good enough to be a very successful business. I think there's still a possibility of growth. I just think it's difficult for them to grow, because I think the means by which they can grow are not that easy to come by. Because typically in pro wrestling, growth is through signings, is like through names.
Well, it's through signings or consistently intriguing content. The growth.
Yeah, but what's that content? What drives that content?
Stories.
Yes.
And so if AEW were to crack a brilliant story idea that could capture viewers' imaginations and get people talking and bring people in, that they could grow their audience without necessarily having to sign somebody.
But they would have to alter the way they tell their stories. Telling their stories the way they tell them is not the way to do it.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Hot take here from Jack Audie says Logan Paul is a better promo than 90% of the main roster.
Yeah, I agree with that. You see him out there, he's a fucking natural.
Yeah, he is.
He's a natural.
As much as I don't like him, he is. Yeah.
I mean, I saw a thread post today. It said, I'm reasonably sure that within 5 years, Logan Paul is going to be in jail because of his financial efforts. So there's that too. He'll be better promo than 90% of the Gen Pop. But I don't know, because it's just when I see that dude and what he does, online and stuff, I'm not super well versed in it. That being said, I see when CoffeeZilla is like, oh, look at this latest crypto scam or whatever, like. I don't know if that's going to sustain, but in terms of being a pro wrestler, he's pretty good.
He's taken to it really quickly. And
yes,
incredibly
he's a good
quickly.
He doesn't come off. He does not come off like NXT promo class 101.
No, he doesn't.
Which is this doesn't feel genuine. It's not realistic. You got Javon, Oba, and Trick are so the outliers when you see the meat and potatoes of NXT promos. It's like, oh God, they just all come off as these cheesy, carbon copy promos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logan Paul, he spent a whole career with the gift of gab, developing the gift of gab. Mm-hmm. He definitely has it. He does. He definitely does.
Damon Harden here says the undercard is more important to the pay-per-view than the main event. Is the quality is quality of depth more important than one huge match?
So I disagree with this simply because look at WrestleMania 41, 42, 40, what fucking 41, the Cena one.
Yeah.
That main event, night 2, kind of scrubbed away a lot of the goodwill from a lot of what we saw in the undercard.
Mm-hmm.
Even the main event of night 1, which everybody's like, wow, this is a really good main event. What a shocking twist. Then the night 2 one drops, and it's like, what a turd WrestleMania we had.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things, whatever the final image is of it, tends to be the defining image.
Yeah. Yeah.
Far too often. So, I understand the idea. Go back to the Mox versus Cope at Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
That card was pretty solid, if memory serves, and that main event stunk it up because it seems like it didn't fit with what had preceded it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so much of our takes based on the show are based on that match as opposed to what preceded it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So So yeah, I don't know. Andre Hawley, let's shift gears here. Move away from wrestling.
Okay.
Andre Hawley here says the NBA slam dunk contest has always been pretty underwhelming outside of a handful of really good ones sprinkled in there.
Did they finally kill the dunk contest this year?
How many times has that question been asked over the last 20 years, though?
How many times has somebody damn near concussed themselves?
That's the first that I can recall.
Dude, that was... And then the other guy who just did like a standard one-handed dunk from 10 feet out or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think the idea was the free throw line, but he was well past that. And at this point...
It was brutal,
listen,
man.
jumping from the free throw line to dunking is an incredible feat. We've seen it a lot. And we've seen people do stuff beyond just jumping from the free throw line and dunking it. So just doing the free throw line, that's the kind of thing with the dunk contest. Is by and large, in terms of just how somebody could dunk the ball, we've seen it all. For the most part. You need to gimmick things up. I went back and watched Aaron Gordon's dunks from 2016. Mm-hmm. The dunks were great. But the thing is, he came out dressed as a magician. Like, that's how he started. That was his thesis. Listen. It was his warm-ups. He took it off. But the idea that I'm going to come out here and put on a show for you. And then he did.
I know, but who was the guy who was dancing and brought out
E40. Yeah, the
E40.
dude from the Heat. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude from the Heat. He was dancing and acting a foot. It's like, here's honestly, I think it's more fundamentally an issue. This is, I think, the more fundamental issue. And you kind of got it there. These dudes, there's nothing we haven't seen before, and it all looks so unimpressive because they're so athletic. Like they sleepwalk through amazing dunks.
I know.
But it looks so easy because they're so athletic.
I know. You watch now, if you go on YouTube and watch some professional dunkers,
bro,
they're doing some inventive stuff in terms of how they literally dunk the ball.
I agree. And that's why the NBA needs to be like, hey, there are so many specialists in the world that wouldn't have a chance in the NBA. You need to be bringing in that. It needs to be the World Cup of dunking. Mm-hmm. That's what it needs to be. NBA ain't got shit on dunking compared to like actual dunk contests worldwide that happen on a regular basis.
Yeah.
They need to bring in those dudes.
Because I watched a thing of Max McClung, who's won a couple previous dunk contests.
Yeah.
Of him, some of the stuff he was working on. He wasn't in the contest this year, but he was doing stuff that I'd seen pro dunkers do before, some of it. Mm-hmm. Where he's basically dunking the ball like this behind him. I think it's called like the scorpion dunk or something.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that in the contest.
Right.
But, it's a cyclical thing where you'll have a huge year, like when Vince Carter won it that first year, where it's like, holy shit, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. He brought an energy. He brought a level of athleticism and creativity to his dunks that we hadn't seen in a while. Yeah. And then there's a lull. And then we saw the 2016 with Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, where they were going back and forth with 50 dunks, and it was great. Aaron Gordon should have won that year. That one dunk where he jumped over the Magic's mascot and went underneath his legs.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Freaking amazing. Or the one where the mascot was spinning and he picks the ball up and swooped. I can't even describe how he did. It's so good. That's what I mean. He gimmicked his stuff up a little bit, but technically, here's the thing. Technically, they were great dunks. He was creative with how he put them together. And I think apart from one, he didn't miss one. And it's a double-edged sword with the time they give him, because if you want them to be creative and ambitious, the chance of failure is very high. Yeah. But as soon as they go out and miss one, you're like, okay, whatever.
But here's the thing. Since 2016 to 2026, there has, as we've seen, and it's all got to do with money and marketing. There has grown an entire industry outside of the NBA of dunk specialists. Yeah. That didn't exist back then. And so now what you see on your Instagram reels is so much better than what they're giving us. And what they're giving us is like, I'm telling you, the only way this is going to work is if you make this the World Cup of dunkers. That's the only way it's going to work. You bring in a bunch of dudes who wouldn't last a day in the NBA, but boy, they can dunk, because that business, that industry has grown to the point where you can make a living just dunking. Yeah,
just make All-Star Saturday night just a celebration of basketball.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I mean, honestly, I feel like, and I don't know how this would play long term, but I thought it was a stroke of genius to have it be international versus USA. Even if they got rid of the round robin, which I like the round robin they did this year, but even if they wanted to go back to one big game, the international crop is so damn good that if you just did international versus USA, I think the competition will be there. It's one, like East versus West doesn't make any sense because it's like you can have the Boston Celtics mid-season trade, with the LA Lakers, and so East versus West, nobody gives a shit, so they're not going to be competitive.
Well, then also everybody plays everybody too.
Yeah, you do international versus USA. They're not going to want to lose that game. They're not going to want to lose that shit. But you got to play against SGA, Jokic, fucking Luka.
Wemby.
You got to, oh my God, Wemby, who was in it to win it this year.
Yeah.
You got to play against those guys. Oh, shit. International crop is so damn good.
Oh, they are. They're really good. Yeah, I wonder how things would have been different. I think they would have been substantially different if Jokic and Luka had played more than just like the first 5 minutes of the first game.
Yeah.
Wemby was trying to get his team to win.
I loved Ant's interview when he was like, because he did the tip off against Wemby.
Yeah.
He was like, man, the ref was, he was giving him an advantage by just throwing up straight. He's like, he needed to throw it towards me so I could have an advantage.
Yeah, he said he's 8 feet tall. I'm just 6 feet
tall. I'm 6 feet tall.
Ant's great. Next here is this Bo Mingle Bo?
I guess so.
Says Larson should just go bald like Moxley. So here's the reality of the situation. One of the primary reasons I grew a beard because I didn't want to shave every day. Because I would have to shave every day because my facial hair grows really fast.
Yeah.
If I were to do the same with my head, I would have to shave my head at least every other day. That's the level of maintenance that I am not willing to keep up with. Therefore, I cut it really short, about once a month, and that's it.
I'll be honest, man. I hate when people comment on our looks. Unless it's something very common. If like people are like, oh, Larson's looking jacked these days. I think that's very nice, Or
that is very nice.
Hey, Steve's looking a little slimmer these days. I think that's very nice. That's stuff that you would say to people in person. Nobody would walk up to you and say, you should just go bald. You should just shave your head like Moxley. Nobody would do that. That's rude. And no, I'm sure maybe Bo Mingle Bo here didn't mean to be rude.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not intended that way.
But I can't stand when people want us to conform our looks to what they want to see. I feel like that's out of pocket. I've always been like, man, that's not cool. I just feel like it's not cool to comment on people's looks like that. I don't know. That's always been like a little bit of a. It's just a faux pas. It's like a party foul.
Yeah.
Like behave in the comments, and this is something that I've always wanted. Behave in the comments like you would in our house.
Yeah.
If you want to say something like, "Hey, boy, you look like you've been losing weight. Hey, you're looking good these days." That's something you would say in somebody's house.
Now, if it was posed as a question as opposed to a suggestion, that's different in my mind. Like, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? That's a little different.
Yeah.
Because then it's not like, hey, you should do this. It's more like, all right, how do you approach how you cut your hair?
If it's like, hey, Larson, I've got a similar hair pattern to you, and I've considered going bald, or I've shaved the entire thing. Would you ever consider that? Then it's like a conversation. Then it's like, if you're in somebody's house and you've got Larson head, and you go up to Larson, you're like, hey, I did mine bald. Have you ever considered that? Because then it's like a rapport between two people.
Exactly, and
that's different.
It's different. It is different. Like, I'm not sure this is, I should say, I'd hope, and I'm sure this isn't intended to come off.
No, and I'm not saying that. I'm just, I saw this, and I was like, here's a teaching opportunity right here. Approach comments the way you would if you went to somebody's house and told them to their face.
So Steve said this is a teachable moment, huh?
I think, I like to think it is.
Last one here. Accidentally closed the form from TJ Cross here says, contrary to Steve's beliefs, his artwork is actually very fucking awesome, deserves more praise.
Oh, see, that's something you would say in my house. That's a very nice thing to say. I really appreciate that. I think as a lot of people do in any sort of creative endeavor, you tend to be most critical of your own stuff. So it's like, I do something, I'm like, God, all you see are the faults.
Exactly. All you see are the mistakes. Yep.
All you see are the mistakes.
Yep.
But I will say this: when I'm proud of something, I'm proud of it. I have been very proud of some of my stuff, and so. But I appreciate TJ here saying that. If you guys want, by the way, I did publish comic books back in the day. I do have a shop open, mfshophere.com.
What a great segue.
Some of my artwork is there. I do these little sketch covers for comic book. Oh, fuck.
Oh, Steve will go over and get this, but he won't reach over to grab the Roman title when we're trying to promote the Ultimo Friendo. I see how it is. You can't even hear me. You'll go and get that, but you won't get the Roman title for Ultimo Friendo promotions. What's the deal with that?
Dude, it's buried over there. It's buried under a bunch of stuff over there. I got some comic books here that you guys can get right now.
Yeah, go buy them. They're good.
mfshophere.com. And then here's an example of one of the comic book sketch covers that is Superman 1.
Look at that.
Here. And so I did that. I got some original art. I got some prints over there, so you guys can check that out. Make some money.
Go
Make
check
some
it out.
money. And then, of course, the Roman titles over there. That's if you guys want to get in on the predictions challenge for
Can we see it,
February.
please? Why do you continually insist on burying it under stuff as opposed to having it handy so we can promote?
I mean, dude, you've got such a lead right now. Like, what's
It's
sort
not
of
that huge. It's like
well,
12
okay.
points.
So here's the thing about here is actually the thing about the Friendo, the tribal Friendo thing, the Ultimo Friendo
Yeah.
is. I do think that other people, especially if Cody loads up the prop bets,
Yeah.
but nobody is going to enter now that isn't already in. And in fact, John Hosey dropped the ball because that dude didn't even participate in the Rumble. Like a bunch of dudes did not participate.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like that field is really, so like they all know they're all in it. They're all trying to win it. So there's no reason to promote that. It's already going to one of the people who have already participated.
I understand, but I'm just trying to generate some excitement for it, you know?
Yeah, I get it. But it's not really doing. It's just sort of a waste of time to promote that when we could promote a brand new predictions challenge in February.
Well, obviously, one is part of the other. Yeah,
But they can't win that.
no.
Right.
This year, next year, if we do Tournament of Champions again, then they can.
Then they can. Exactly. But yeah, if you want in on the February predictions challenge, click on join right here, youtube.com/Steve Larson, or go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson to participate. And you also get access to bonus episodes. We had a new one go up last week where we talked about, I think, like where we went wrong in our careers.
Yeah. I guess we
even
have
though
another one this month, right?
Damn, dude. Just the other day, I looked at our Apple rankings, and it was like we were like number 15. We were like really high up there. That's like for all podcasts. Oh wait, did I just miss this? Where are we? Oh, here we go.
All
We're at
wrestling podcasts or all podcasts?
Oh God, the amount of money we'd make if we were number 17 on all podcasts.
That's what I was going to say.
But it's all wrestling podcasts, including like Talk is Jericho. We got the Ringer Wrestling Show. We're at number 17 now. Pete Rosenberg is at number 14. The WWE podcast. We're only 4 lower than the WWE podcast. We're only 6 lower than Cody's podcast.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Very cool, man.
That's
Holy
pretty cool.
shit. Salamonster's number 5. Look at that guy.
Good.
Look at him go.
That's awesome. What's number one?
Oh, dude, take a wild guess. Who's always number 1?
Is it Cornette?
It's Cornette. Yeah, it's Cornette. Boy,
Why
that
is he
guy.
number 1?
He's a good storyteller, man. He's a good storyteller. He's a good storyteller. And then number 2 is, I guess, did Pritchard have like a new one? I saw a clip where Bruce Pritchard, he had like episode 500 he put out last week.
No.
And he talked about Billionaire Ted. Lacey and I watched that movie Nebraska with
Yeah, you
Bruce
mentioned that,
Dern, and Will Forte's in it. He's like
Yeah.
the main character, basically.
Yeah.
And the entire time, I just
wanted
think
to do
of
Ted Turner, huh?
the Ted Turner thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great movie, though. Really
Yeah,
great
good.
movie. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.